know, under the Code of Civil Procedure, when there is a trust, the property belongs to the trust. But there's a difference between Waqf and trust. Waqf, the land once donated, belongs to God.
Please round
It
up.
doesn't belong to the trust.
Kapil ji, round up now.
Sir, it belongs to God. You cannot sell it ever. A trust can sell property. Waqf property cannot be sold. And Waqf property can be donated for religious purposes. It can be donated for shelter homes. It can be donated. Allow me. Don't interrupt now. It can be given for schools. It can be given for schools. It can be given for graveyards. It can be given for the benefit of women. And once given, it can't be taken back, unlike trusts.
Thank you.
So therefore, there's a difference.
Thank you.
Kapil Sibal was opposing the Waqf bill presented in the parliament by the BJP government. He justified the Waqf law of Islam by saying that the Waqf property is property dedicated to God. This was a very unjust and problematic statement because Islam is primarily an opposition movement against the Christian faith, rising up in Arabia 600 years after the origin of Christianity. Islam denies the Christian faith in the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ and rewrites the history of Christianity. Quran rewrites the content of the Bible from a different perspective in order to deny the basic tenets of Christian faith. Thus, these two religions have completely contradictory gods, theology, and values. But here, Kapil Sibal justifies Islam and its God. When you say that the Waqf property is dedicated to God, you justify and legitimize the God of Islam as the true God. But this is not so, and Christianity cannot approve that. So, approvingly speaking about the God of Islam in the Indian Parliament is an act of denying the true God of the Bible. Such an act is against the secular nature of our nation. Taking such a stand and making such a statement in the Parliament is unparliamentary because the God of Muslims is not the God of all. Muslims will never say that Jehovah of the Bible is their God. Then why do you recognize the Quranic God, Allah, as the God? Hence, you can only say God of Muslims, God of Hindus, God of Christians, etc. because their names, their history, their character, and their values are all totally different and even contradictory. Then how can you say these are all one? There is only one God. But the God conceptualizations of all these religions are not one. The Waqf law created by the Congress party for the benefit of the Muslims is so cruel that it enables some Muslims to capture any property of anyone, even by using the state mechanism. Hence, it is an unjust law which legalized theft in the name of God. By it, the whole India could be claimed and brought under the Waqf to be captured by some Muslims. This kind of lawmaking was against the very fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution. Such laws are against the values of the Bible, which gives the 10 commandments in which God commands not to steal, not to tell lies, not to covet the property of other people. But all these are potentially violated in the Waqf law which was created by the Congress governments. Hence, the law is against the values of the Bible and the Indian Constitution. The Waqf law was made by the Congress party to appease the Muslims for votes. The law enables some Muslims to unjustly capture other person's land in the name of God. But who is this God who needs such captured property? This is not the God of the Bible. By the Waqf law, man's property is captured by man for the sake of an imaginary God. This is a modern way of mysterious theft of unspeakable proportions. Here everything is fake. Fake law, fake property, fake God. What are we dealing with? We fail to ask the right questions in the right time, and the whole nation and the world is taken for a ride. When mankind fails to think rightly and at the right time, this can ultimately lead to widespread violence, destroying nations, their democracy, their freedom, their institutions. Everything will go away. The judges and legal experts must have a good idea also about the history of religion and their theologies also. Any sober-minded person can easily understand that the true values of freedom and democracy originates from the Bible, and that Jesus Christ died and resurrected in the real history. This is an undeniable historical fact, but Islam denies the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ and aims at destroying the Christians and the Christian faith. An unhindered Waqf law will soon end up in destroying Christianity and the establishment of Islamic State in India. Then there will be no democracy, no parliament, and no such free judicial process and discussions. Hence, the society must decide which religion and religious values are better for the survival of mankind. In fact, all religions are not equal in validity and values. No society should allow religious groups with unhealthy values. Equal status to all religions is not given in any nation except in the Christian dominant West. Christianity believes in loving the enemy, but some other religions believe in killing the enemy, and some others believe in killing all the unbelievers and those who disagree with them. See the differences in the value systems. How can all these religions be the same and equally right? There should be a healthy comparative analysis and evaluation of the religions and their values and teachings. Bible is the only scripture that will not conflict with the constitutional values of the civilized nations. Only the Christian values can stand out in dignity. And the majority-minority appeasing will not help for the Indian nation. Be honest and study the values of the religions. Conscience is the basic standard. If killing is bad, reject the killing religions as illegal. So is adultery, divorce, etc. These are not healthy practices for a civilized nation. It will be certainly suicidal to any society if it allows anyone to promote evil values in the name of religious freedom. Whether it is from the majority or minority, unhealthy values will adversely affect individuals and society. Hence, such unhealthy values and views should be legally identified and discouraged. That is, if any values or norms that come in the name of religion and God should not instantly gain legitimacy and approval in the society simply because it is a religious view or God view. In the name of religious sentiment, unhealthy values and evil should not be allowed to freely flourish and rule the people. This will lead to social evils and gradual ethical breakdown of the society. Belief systems without clear positive commandments and constructive values should be identified and discouraged in any civil society, because such will destroy the people and society. No law and order system will succeed in stopping crime when people practice bad values, legitimized in the name of religion and God. After constantly feeding poison, no periodical treatment can save anyone. Indiscriminate freedom will mark the death of freedom and democracy in the near future. Why waste all resources in shooting the trouble after creating it? Why not try to avoid troubles from surfacing by removing the bad value systems from the society? It is the primary duty of the legislative, executive, and judiciary to tell the people which is the right value system. The Supreme Courts and the legislatures must be able to judge and declare what is right and what is wrong and good and bad for the society. But that doesn't happen. A responsible government and judicial system will help the people from falling into error by taking appropriate decisions and actions in time. Ultimately, there is only one God, one mankind, one problem, one solution, and hence there can have only one value system for mankind. Hence, the governmental system should always check whether the truth claim is offering good and healthy values or giving spiritual poison covered. For this, the society must have a legitimate mechanism to check whether the values promoted by the religions are really moral and ethical, and if practiced by the members of the society, it will be for the common good. Hence, it is the primary and ultimate responsibility of the supreme legal system in a nation to examine the basic documents of the religions and declare which are unhealthy values, unhealthy truth claims, and unhealthy worldviews and unhealthy God views which affect the character of the people, and then ban them.